The world famous marquee says it all. Ohio State and Northwestern at Wrigley Field. A less than star-studded first quarter, though. No score early in the second. Wildcats QB Jack Lausch keeps it, and the home team takes the lead 7-zip. Second-ranked Buckeyes immediately answer at the Northwestern 15. Will Howard connects with Carnell Tate. Holds on for the catch at the 1. Quinshawn Judkins scores from there. After OSU blocks a punt for the second straight week, they're back at the Wildcat 1. Judkins' second TD in the game. At the 4:19 mark, Buckeyes take the lead after forcing another Northwestern punt back in business at the 25. And the Chicago kid delivers again. Tate lays out in the end zone for the score. And just like that, in less than 7 minutes, OSU goes from down 7 to up 14. Tate adds another score in the third. Buckeyes win 31-7. Judkins and Travion Henderson combined for 150 yards on 26 carries. And as Mark Kuntz tells us, a unique experience for Ohio State became all the more meaningful for the star of the game.
By now, Carnell Tate's story is known just as much as his talent. As the Ohio State wide receiver a little over a year ago, his mother was murdered here in Chicago in his hometown. So regardless of what happened against the Wildcats, today was going to be a special day for Tate, with close to 40 family and friends in the friendly confines cheering him on. And he had his best game as a Buckeye, 4 catches including 2 touchdowns in the Ohio State win.
It was a lot of high emotion stuff like that, but I had to manage it. It means a lot to be playing back in my city, especially my first time being back since my freshman year of high school, and especially being able to play in front of all my family and friends.
I couldn't be happier for him, to come home to his home city, given all he's been through, man. I don't say it a lot to him, but he's one of my favorite guys on the team, and just seeing him every single day, he just lifts my mood, man. And for him to have the game that he had here in his home city, in this stadium, I couldn't be happier.
No, I've never been to a Cubs game as a kid. I've been around in the area, but I've been to a White Sox game, so.
You're not a Cubs fan?
I don't really watch baseball. I'm a Cubs fan today.
In many ways, today's game was almost a carbon copy of last week against Purdue. A sluggish first quarter, a blocked punt, and a Buckeye victory.
We really won it in that end of the second quarter, beginning of the third quarter. That was kind of when we won the game. I think we had some opportunities to really, put the game truly, it was out of reach, but put the game really step on their throats a little bit. In the fourth, maybe a couple throws I want back, but overall, I think we did a really good job with that middle 8, and that kind of put the game out of reach for them.
You can steal possession when you're coming out of halftime, especially when you defer to start the game. So being able to get those stops on defense, score going into halftime, and then get that first score after halftime is a big momentum swing and really pushes people out of the game.
Despite this being a home game for Northwestern and homecoming for the Wildcats, there is no doubt about it. This was a pro-OSU crowd.
To see the way it was today was exciting. We kind of felt it as the buses were kind of going around the stadium, and you're driving through Wrigleyville and you just see all this, this red and scarlet, and the people were fired up early on. So you could tell they were just coming out of the bars after opening at like 7 a.m. and people were fired up, and so it kind of got us fired up too.
It was awesome. The crowd here was great. It ended up being like 90% Buckeye fans to 10%. There's only like one section of Northwestern fans. So scoring, running around to your home crowd is awesome when you're so many miles away from home.
So Ohio State will wrap up the regular season with back-to-back home games. The big one against Indiana, a top 5 showdown, and then Michigan comes to town in 2 weeks. At Wrigley, Mark Kuntz, BCSN.